How's it going, guys? Siege here. Welcome back to the channel, and we got some Halo 2 up on the screen. And today's video is going to be a little bit more of a personal video, as well as something that most of you who are watching these videos could probably relate, and that is with bad relationships. And for me, I have a couple of stories that I would love to share in this video. One is, ends in a very dramatic way. Another one is just crazy and insane, and just, I want to say a little bit more of a crash and burn before the thing even got started. So let's get on with the video. So this first story takes place around 2018, 2019. I was still in college. I was about maybe 2 years away from graduating. And so my friend Mitch had his wife now. Her name is Katie. She was going to college in Duluth, and she was staying with a couple of roommates while going to college over there. And so I was working at a grocery store at this time, and as soon as I was getting off from work, I get a message from Katie saying that, hey, there's this person here that's my roommate, and they're getting the idea that maybe myself and this other person should try to hook up and, get something going, maybe get a relationship started, get something or whatever. And so this place, this is in Duluth, and from where I was living, this was about 2.5 hour drive. And that was like the first red flag for me, was the distance. But this was me young, ignorant, a little bit of delusional or whatever, and I've never been into a real relationship at this point. So it's like I don't know a thing or two because I haven't seen a thing or two at this point. So I undermined the distance, and it's like, okay, whatever, let's do it, whatever. So started off, the conversation between us was good. It wasn't perfect, it was good. So time passed, Valentine's Day comes around, and I like to celebrate. So I thought about doing something a little bit more thoughtful, and I ordered myself a couple of assorted dozen roses to send out to her. And some time passed, and I get a snap from Katie saying, like, yeah, these flowers that you sent her, they haven't been fed. Like, the food are still in the little flower packets that they come with. So I'm like, okay, maybe she forgot. And might I add that this person I was seeing, she was going to college for a medical field. I don't know which one, but just being generic, a medical field. It's one thing to study medical stuff. It's another thing to fail to keep a plant alive, well, or whatever, by simply feeding it. But that's just me. Anywho, so time passed after this. She contacts me as I'm going to a chiropractor to get readjusted because of bad, back issues or whatever. And she invites me to go out and meet her for the very first time in person. So I'm like, all right, perfect. I got nothing going on for the weekend. Let's get this thing on going. Sure. And so I make my way down, and I have another friend who's going to the University of Duluth there at a dorm. So when I first arrive in Duluth, I first go to the dorm, meet him. He's got a couple of roommates, met them. And we all get together, and then we go to Katie's apartment. And the first thing that happens when I go in there is that this person is distant. She is quiet. And, I kind of undermine that because, when you first meet somebody, you are feeling nervous. You're not sure what you're doing, quiet. I get it. So I didn't really mind it much. And then the four of us decided to go to the mall and just to go do something for the time, because we were going to have, drinks later. We're going to have a great time. It was a weekend. Let's get the show on the road. Let's party. So we go to one of the shops at the mall, and I was trying to break the ice. I asked her a couple questions, and I get like 1-2 word responses from this. And I'm like, okay, sure, okay, whatever. And some more time passed. We go back to the apartment, and I didn't know this, but apparently her sister was coming by, and they were going to celebrate her sister's birthday at this apartment. And when that happened, the apartment was split in half. It was this person's sister was doing her thing on one side. It was myself and the friends I went to go see are on the other side doing our own thing. And at time passed, it was like 1 o'clock at this point. My friend who goes to the from the dorm wants to go get something to eat because we're getting the munchies here. And so it's like, okay, cool. So it was myself, Katie, and AJ go to Taco Bell to get ourselves some Taco Bell. And then we come back. AJ goes back and drives back to the dorm. I was going to stay at the apartment because that's what myself and Katie had planned. And as soon as we get to the apartment, we see another guy standing there. And the look on her face was just pure shock because I'm assuming that she was not expecting me to be staying at this apartment. And I had to stay here. I had to stay here overnight. And oh my god, this guy and her, they were running around the apartment like they were like from the kindergarten running around or whatever. So I mean, I was surprised myself that I was still able to fall asleep or whatever. And whatever, the morning comes and I leave, and as soon as I get back to my house, AJ texts me, and get this, she said that she was not expecting me to actually come down to Duluth, even though she invited me to come down. And this was my first crack at trying to have a relationship, at least try to get something started. And my first experience was probably the worst experience that somebody can have when it comes down to a relationship. So as you expected, it really hit me hard. I actually was, kind of in a dark place at that point in time. I actually lost appetite. I didn't feel like eating. I actually lost 40 pounds just because of this exact reason. So out of the whole thing, I learned a lesson is that if somebody invites you to come down to come and meet for the first time, but yet they're quiet and distant to the point they're not even trying to engage into a conversation to get to know you, that should already be an indicator of what's to come. So that's my advice for that take. This other instance I would like to share with that takes place around 3 years ago. I had just moved to North Dakota from my hometown to start a new career, and I just wanted to go out and meet people. So I got into Bumble, and I matched up with this person, and this person was like, hey, what would be a great idea would be to go to a concert. Great, sure, great. As long as it's not a movie that we're going to, great first date idea. That's another advice I want to share. When it comes down to first dates, do not do movies. The first date should always be the get to know phase. Go to a place where there's going to be a lot of talking between you two, not go to a place where there's going to be little to no talking. My advice. So, great. Concert. It was Tim McGraw. I love Tim McGraw's music. Great. Everything seems like, okay, perfect. This is going to be awesome. The only thing was that I got my ticket a little bit too late. She got her ticket and it was down to the pits, which was in front of the stage. And so I was like, oh, okay, well, never mind. It's not going to be great because I'll be up in the bleachers while she's down there. So we're not going to have much of a conversation. But it was her and she brought a friend with. And, I get the whole idea that, if you're going to be going out on a date with some random stranger, you kind of want to have that protection of having a friend there. I get that. I totally respect that. But when you want to meet somebody and try to get a relationship started with this person, it should just be a one-on-one sort of thing. Because when it was you and your friend, you tend to get a little awkward out. It just awkward, just doesn't feel right. And that's why I felt. And so the concert ends. We go out into the state part or the state fair, and we get the corn dogs, we get the drinks or whatever. We just have a grand time. And soon after the concert, we go to a bar, we get a couple more drinks, and just right in the night, all the way till next morning or whatever. And so after the bar, we go to this other friend that this girl was friends with, and we go over there. We rendezvous with this other person. And they're like, "Oh, we're gonna have a nice little party at this, apartment over here in like the little center plaza sort of area, like an open get together kind of chill area." And there's there's benches there, there's fireplaces. It's really nice. And so once again, this person I was meeting ends up becoming quiet, distant. No matter what I try to do to engage into a conversation, it gets shut down, or it gets undermined, or just ignored. And at that point, it was like 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, and my car was still at her apartment because whatever. I was like, oh, okay, this is gonna be another long morning, but it wasn't as terrible as me coming back from Taco Bell, seeing another guy, with the person I was thinking of getting something started with. But it was just one of those things that I feel like that was there, nothing emerged. She ended up ignoring me and just was like, whatever. And it was just one of those classic things that as soon as I got back to the apartment and this and that, I get the message from her saying like, oh, I was just wanting to be friends or whatever, and doing this and that. It's like, oh, I get that. It's fine. Being on Bumble, you can find friends on there. If you put your account on there, your whole purpose is to find friends. It's cool and all, but I have a problem with that when it comes down to after the fact of meeting somebody. Like, make your intentions clear first of all before doing something out in the public. Like, are you sure you're looking for a friend, or are you sure you're looking for something more? So my takeaways off these two instances is that both instances involve with somebody being distant and being quiet and not engaging in conversation to try to get to know you more than you are trying to get to know them. So when you guys are out on the date, please make sure that there's enough dialogue that it feels like that the person that you're with wants to know you as much as you want to know about them. Communication is rule number 1 when it comes down to relationships. It's a great starter, and it's also a great indicator of what's to come if it's going to work. So I hope you guys enjoy these couple of stories I shared with you. Hit that subscribe button if you're seeing and you want to see more. Click the bell to let you guys know when I'm uploading the next video. I'll see you guys in the next video, whatever it makes. Take care out there. See you next round.